If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome back to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the homie Kevin.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I hope everyone's doing pretty awesome tonight. Get ready for another fun podcast talking about your favorites.
That's right. What's good, homies? Yeah, so today, it's a little bit of a different topic for us.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I really haven't decided as to what to call it, whether to call it plagiarism, pettiness, or comic copycats.
Or we're going to rip off the Band-Aid just with a shitload of hyphens.
Well, I mean, what we're talking about today is no real secret to the homieverse, to all of you guys. We're talking about pretty much blatant rip-offs between the major comic book publishers. And by major, we're mostly just referring to Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we're going to limit it to today.
Though, if you research long and hard enough, I'm sure you're going to find others between...
you will.
Exactly. Maybe even Hellboy Malibu or something. Who knows? But.
Yeah. And so the reason that we decided to do this topic is because one is mutual between the two major brands, Marvel and DC, and two, because we like stirring up shit.
Yeah. With a big spoon.
Yeah, and three, because it's fun. Like this topic right here is one that people kind of talk about amongst, themselves with their friends. Saying, well, which hero came first? Well, this hero is just like this hero, this villain just like that villain. And yeah, the list goes on, man. And when I was working on this, taking my notes and all that, I compiled a list, and I literally had to cut out half of what I had, because this is too much.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. So honestly, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to name off some of my honorable mentions. Just kind of spitfire name them off. Yeah. And honestly, the honorable mentions list could make a part 2 of this podcast. There's so many.
You just reading pairs of names. So-and-so and so-and-so.
Yeah.
This and that and them and that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just breaking down those connections, we're going to do these tonight here.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
And the way I prepared my list, fellas and gals, is that I did essentially the same thing. I just researched a bunch of well-known pairs, and then I try to find a few that I want to talk about. It's okay, are these plagiarized? Do you think that there's a correlation? Is it loose? Is it imagined? Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But of course, before we get into the podcast,
we got some other shit we gotta do.
Yeah, we gotta go into some comic news.
Oh man, I told myself I'd practice a news intro.
You did.
You
did. I remember.
You know what? I'm gonna lie to you and say I did. Dun 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 dun.
Nope.
The news.
It sounds almost as bad as the one you did last week.
Well, almost as bad is still better. So shove it.
Okay, yes, your F minus just became an F.
I'm climbing that ladder. I'm being optimistic.
Well, you're being expelled.
Well, screw you, dude. I don't hear you making news music.
Well, I'm the news giver.
Okay.
I'm the guy here that I present the news. When you watch the news, the guy who's giving the news is never singing a song.
You don't know that.
And then coming in with the news.
I'm gonna find one where the intro is him playing the trumpet or something, and then he's like, "Thank you, me," and now back to the news.
Yeah. Anyway, so first up here with the comic news, Matt Reeves began his work on The Batman, which is the current working title for the movie, The Batman.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. We finally get confirmation that he has begun work on it. And they begun working on the script now. And from what I've heard, they did have a script previously in the works, but I guess because of all the changes going on with Warner Brothers and DC, there's been a lot of back steps, and then a lot of other projects going into motion. Because originally the Batman was slated for a 2019 release date. That obviously ain't happening. But at least there is news that a work on a solo Batman movie is finally happening. So that is a good positive thing. And yeah, it's still, from what I'm seeing here, it's still going to be a trilogy. So yeah, it's going to be the first of 3. So that's still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up, the Gambit movie begins production on March 19th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I totally forgot they were doing that. Remind me, who did they have cast as a part of Gambit himself? Please remind me. I know who it is, but please.
Okay, yeah. Channing Tatum.
Dadgummit.
Yeah.
Is he actually going to be in the movie for more than 20 minutes?
He's referring to the Kingsman, the second one.
Oh, I'm not referring to just the Kingsman. I'm referring to.
Okay.
I'm referring to that. I'm referring to. Shit. Oh, damn it! We saw it New Year's Eve in theaters. Quentin Tarantino.
Hateful Eight.
Thank you, Hateful Eight. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Damn, but yeah, Hateful Eight. He was in that, and it's like, okay, come on, Channing. You're in like one scene for this much of a span. No offense. I don't know. That's just like, I feel more the directors and the producers and the writers kind of doing that to him. I don't know, but
yeah. It was especially noticeable though in the Kingsman, because he was advertised prominently for that.
Exactly, and you're just like, oh, he's sitting out. Oh, you put him on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess this is how the plot's going to continue. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie, it finally starts production here in a couple months, March 19th. Okay. So that's something.
Have you heard his accent? Can he do a good Bayou?
I have no idea, because I've honestly never really heard him speak in much different accents than, like, I mean, he had an accent for Hateful Eight,
Right, he had like the Western tough guy, cowboy type thing going.
So I'm not gonna say he can't do it, or there's gonna be a shitty Gambit. I mean, because listen, like, comic book movies have done a good enough job of proving most people wrong as far as the quality of the actors they get to play these roles.
Right.
So I'm not gonna throw him out. I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater yet. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah,
see this one out and see how he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already in the role. The best thing we can do now is, support him and hope that it's a good movie.
Amen.
So there's a lot of news with comic movies this week. Actually, there's a Kitty Pryde movie in development at Fox Studios.
What?
Yep.
I did not hear about that. Yep. That's cool.
By director Tim Miller. Of course, Tim Miller's the same director who did Deadpool 1, doing Deadpool 2. So yeah, he's reportedly in the works to direct this Kitty Pryde movie.
Who's going to be Kitty Pryde?
We don't know yet.
It's not going to be Ellen Page? Come on, man. No. Just lie to me. Tell me it's Ellen Page. I just want to see Ellen Page do it again.
It would be nice. She deserves it.
She deserves it. I like her work.
Yeah. But I don't know. We don't know yet. And, we actually don't even know if this movie is going to, be made. It's just in the development process.
Oh, so they're still in the red tape phase. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, go talk to Ellen Page and make it happen.
Okay, because she has the power to make a movie happen.
I'm going to lie to myself again and say yes.
But yeah, hopefully they do go through with it. And I was trying to think about like the plot that they do with it, or the side characters. Would they bring in Lockheed, her little pet dragon?
Right, I was actually just thinking that. Yeah.
Would they bring in, of course, like Colossus, or are they going to follow the X-Men verse and bring in Bobby Drake? Who knows? But yeah, I figure that could be definitely interesting depending on how it goes. I know it also interested me though that they specifically said it's being developed at Fox, and of course Fox having a lot of their rights just being bought out from or by Disney. So I'm not really sure exactly how that works. I guess maybe Fox is still going to develop it, and then maybe Marvel decides yeah or nay. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I don't know either. Yeah, we'll have to research that.
Continuing our trend of movie news, a Black Widow solo movie has begun development.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. We've expected that.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I think I even talked about it last week a little bit, about the potential for it. But now they're saying that, okay, they are finally starting to get this thing on track to happen. Yeah, but of course, with Scarlett Johansson, At this point, it'd be blasphemy to get someone else to play it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's done a great job with the role, with no surprise to us. Lots of surprise, I'm sure, to the higher ups.
Right.
Yeah. As we talked about. Actually. Yeah.
Did you know? Because we talked about Avengers, of course, on Wednesday, the first Avengers movie. But did you know that in Avengers 1, they were originally going to have Wasp be in the movie, and not Black Widow. But then they decided to go with Black Widow because the movie was already character heavy, and they wanted someone who was already established. So yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That's cool that they were gonna throw Wasp in there like that. Yeah.
And apparently they're gonna put Ant-Man in there too for a little bit at least. But yeah.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. These things happen. We finally got him anyway. That's the important part.
That's true. Well done, Paul Rudd.
Yeah. So next up, continuing this long ass trend of movie news, Deadpool 2 has been moved.
Really?
Yep. From June 1st to May 18th. It's been pushed up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, what's really interesting is that comes out like 2 weeks after Infinity War.
I was just about to ask that, because Infinity War is the first week of May.
Right.
So...
Yeah.
Why do you think they're doing that? It's not really a power play, is it?
I don't know. Well, I don't think it is, because I don't know who the de facto decider is when it comes to moving the date up. Is that still Fox or is that Disney? I don't know. I'd imagine Disney.
Yeah.
But then also it gets more interesting because, of course, produced by Disney, it's the Han Solo movie that comes out like the same week or a week after Deadpool 2 now.
May is going to be a busy month for a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to decide whether or not that's a giant middle finger to Disney thinking about it, you know? Like, I don't...
No, because here's the thing. Like, I don't think that any kind of production company is dumb enough to try to compete with a juggernaut like Marvel Disney, especially with the movie of this caliber, Infinity War.
Right.
Like, that'd just be ridiculous. And also, like, you don't want to shoot your baby in the foot. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
of course not.
Like, Deadpool 2 is going to be successful all on its own merits. And I think that 2 weeks after Infinity War, it's not going to hurt Deadpool or Infinity War.
No, I don't imagine it would either.
I think it's just going to continue, like, that wave of money flowing in.
Yeah.
You know,
like all of May is going to be like, all right, guys.
Yeah, May belongs to Disney between Infinity War and then Deadpool 2 and the Han Solo movie. And who knows what else they have coming out that month, if anything.
Some other Disney Pixar bullcrap, I'm sure.
I don't know when Incredibles 2 comes out, but it comes out this year.
That.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
I gotta admit,
Disney's gonna make all the money this year.
They really are.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. As if they don't all the time. Yeah.
And can I be honest for a second?
Yeah.
I know this is a comic book podcast, but
right.
I am low-key excited for Incredibles 2. Like,
everyone
we
is.
talk about it, it's like,
Everyone
you know
is.
what? I'm gonna go see that. I want to see that.
Yeah, but here's the thing, because I was actually thinking about this earlier, just to sidetrack this real quick. I was thinking, like, man, like, I'm going to go see, Incredibles 2 when it comes out. It's like, me and Kev are going to continue our trend of going to see this together. This is going to be the most awkward movie that we see together as grown-ass men. Okay, because two grown-ass men going into this Disney Pixar, animated movie that's really specifically for children. I don't know the perception,
buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and make you feel better right now.
Should we get like a kid and pretend that he's our adopted son, and we can pretend that we're a gay couple taking our adopted son to go see this movie?
That sounds hilarious, and it sounds like a fun time. I'm not sure where we would procure the child.
Oh, trust me, I mean, my parents just adopted 3, man. I have tons of little kids that I can procure.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. I could just imagine that. Like, you call up your parents, hey, let me borrow one of them.
Yeah. Let me borrow one of my brothers and sisters.
Wait. Which one's the most quiet? Okay.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a good point. Which one's
quiet? Okay. That might be a loophole. Yeah. But going back to what I was about to say, I am still totally down to go watch this children's movie with you. I'm fully prepared for, like, opening night premiere bullshit, man.
That's the thing.
I want to watch this.
We would have to go to like a Thursday night opening premiere because most parents won't take their kids to go see a movie on a Thursday night.
And you know what?
Yeah.
We're not going to be the only... It's probably going to be mostly us types there. Yeah. Like people who are like growing up with this.
When I went to go see Lego Batman last February... I went to go see that opening night, and there wasn't a lot of kids in there. It was like a lot of grown people. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it'll be the same thing with this, but who knows?
I imagine so. Come join us, people.
Yeah. So moving on here.
Disney Empires.
Yep. So once again, continuing this trend of movie topic news, New Mutants gets pushed back from April 13th to February 22nd, 2019.
That's a big pushback.
That's a huge pushback. It's,
Right.
a huge pushback. Like 10 months. Yeah. It's a pretty long...
Do they have any reason why? Have they released anything in like a press release or something? Or what?
No, not that I've been able to find. No, I have no idea why it's such a huge pushback. I think they want to do some reshoots or I don't know. But 10 months just a long ass... Well, maybe they want to spread the movies out some. I don't know.
I can see that too. I mean...
So, unfortunately, we go from 8 comic movies this year to 7.
Yeah.
With that happening.
That sucks.
Yeah.
At least I'll make our job at the end of the year slightly easier.
A little bit, yeah. But I was looking forward to seeing it, though. But,
Same here.
Yeah, I mean...
And we still will.
Yeah, we still will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless,
as long as we're not dead or something.
Well, knock on some damn wood.
But that's not the only movie to get pushed back. Gambit gets pushed back from February 14th, 2019 to June 7th, 2019. So it was going to come out in 2019 regardless, but it gets pushed back a couple more months still. Yep.
See, I always want to know why these things are, and I feel like half the time they never tell us. Yeah. So I was about to ask why again, but it's like, there's no point.
Right.
So
no point. The same thing with video games. They get pushed back all the time too.
Oh no, they do that on purpose to piss us off. That's why. We know this.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a cool new game. Yank.
Yeah. You get the damn game when we release it. How about that?
Yeah. And when we do release it, you get, the hamburger patty and 2 buns. But, you want toppings with that? Here are the DLCs. You got to pay for them.
Yeah. Let's see. So
that's a tired metaphor, I'm sure.
With the Krypton television show, they actually have a plan for a 7 to 8 season arc. So they plan on the show lasting that long. I don't know what kind of story arc they have, so maybe they could make it work. But I guess with the way that my reptile brain thinks, I was thinking of more like a traditional, prequel type story with maybe, 4 or 5 seasons.
Right.
But then again, I'm definitely not the showrunner or a writer or a producer. So once again, I don't know exactly the mechanisms of this show.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, they must be that confident in the caliber of their story.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll take it in and see what
believe
happens.
David Goyer is actually writing it. He did a lot of writing on the Dark Knight trilogy and Man of Steel. So he's a really good writer. So, I mean, if he's on it, then I'm definitely going to check it out, see how it is. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to save this for last, but I guess I did. The last piece of comic news here is a bit of a downer, so I apologize.
Oh, gosh.
But Marvel creator Stan Lee at age 95 is not dead.
Oh shit! You read my mind, and I was reading it like, what?
Yeah. He is not dead, but he is accused of sexually assaulting and harassing nurses. So Stan Lee, he's 95 years old now, so he's getting on up there in years. He's been around for a long time. And, when he gets ill, he has nurses that he goes to see or they come to see him, one of the two. And a nursing company disclosed information that basically they said that Stan Lee, they accused him of harassing young nurses and constantly asking them to do things to him. They didn't specify what those things were. That's probably for the best. I don't know. But he is also accused of groping and touching young nurses.
Dadgum, Stan.
Yeah. And here's the thing about Stan Lee. We all love Stan Lee. We're the superhero homies. Of course, we look to Stan Lee as this great man who brought a lot of our favorite characters to life. So we love and adore Stan Lee here. But here's the thing. When he was accused of these allegations, I looked at a picture of Stan Lee and I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't really surprise
You
me.
remember the quote that he gave, right?
Oh yeah, yes, it's still on my wall.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's this awesome quote, guys, where someone asked him, "Hey, so quick press question here. Are you worried that the digital age and the internet and whatnot is going to kill the production of comic books?"
Yeah, meaning like, do you prefer digital comics or paper comics? Do you think
Right.
digital comics will overtake traditional paper comics?
Right.
Yeah.
And his reaction was amazing. He kind of sat there, looked off for a second, then came back and said, "So, comics are like great boobs, you know? They're great on screen too, but they're way better in person." And it's like...
It's way better to hold them in your hand.
Exactly, yeah.
And
It's
I
like-
mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't take that quote and say that he must be a molester or
me neither.
or a groper. No,
I thought it was hilarious.
I just thought it was a cool
Yeah.
quote.
Yeah.
I mean, and it probably still is. Once again, nothing's been proven yet, but they're, in this age of a lot of people, speaking out against all these horrendous and nasty sexual assaults. I mean, like if you've done something, chances are they're going to speak out.
Right.
People aren't keeping quiet. So, if Stanley did do this, then that really, really sucks.
Yeah, it does. I mean...
It sucks for the victims first and foremost, obviously, and it also sucks that a man who inspires so many people would, do something like that.
Yeah.
And what can you do? Yep. I guess I can no longer. I'm not even gonna say that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But so that's it for comic news.
Yeah, I kind of wish you didn't save that one for last, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's no big deal. It's no big deal to me.
Let's see. Well, let me guess. The question next?
Yep.
Okay. What you got me this time? Last week I was correct.
You were.
You
were.
I actually had a close friend text me and congratulate me on being correct. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Yeah, he texted me. He's like, "Good job on that question, buddy. It was V for Vendetta." And I was like, "Yeah, I was right. Thanks for reminding me. It's like Wednesday now. It's half through the week. Whatever. Thanks, man." Yeah, so let's see if I can impress him and myself yet again.
Let's see.
Let's see. What we got?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I figured I'll keep it with the multiple choice questions and see,
Okay.
if that's a continual good format.
It is. It's a fancy fashion.
So I want you to tell me which of these X-Men have never died.
Wolverine.
You're definitely wrong.
No, I'm not.
He's died
No,
like
stop.
7
Nope.
times.
No.
6 or 7. Yeah,
Just-
but he's not even one of the options.
Oh,
I have.
I know, buddy. I know. I've yet to accept it, but I know. All right.
So was it Archangel, Rogue, Colossus, or Gambit? Which one has never died?
I'm going to say, as I twist my finger through the air and debate to myself here, I'm pretty sure my boy Archangel has died. I'm pretty confident on that. Pretty sure Gambit's passed away too. I don't know. No. Give me a second. I'm gonna say Rogue.
Rogue, final answer?
Oh shit, maybe. I don't know. Her power is a little tricky. Like, I hate this. I hate this feeling so much. Like, it's like that moment in the big test at school, and you're just like sitting there looking at the question with your pen in hand, just like, shit, which one do I bubble in? Ooh. All right, guys. Well,
Would you like to phone a friend or eliminate an answer?
eliminate an answer? What? You're gonna give me that option?
No,
I was
I'm
about
not.
to say, don't give me that option. Don't go easy on me.
Never would.
No, thank you. Respect me. What little I know of these random questions of yours. You know what? I'm gonna rely on luck at this point, and if I do get it right, it is purely because of that. But I am going to say Rogue. Final answer.
That is incorrect.
I figured as much. Okay. It was Gambit.
It was Gambit.
Damn it. Yep. I was debating between those two because I knew Colossus died and I knew Angel died. The only two I didn't know were Rogue and Gambit. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yep. Everyone has gone all the way of the earth except for Gambit. I mean, no particular reason. He's just...
he's just lucky.
Yeah, he's just lucky. Never been in a situation. Yeah. Yep. And so has it. That's just the way it is.
All right.
Yep. Well, better luck next week. You're still...
I should have known it was Gambit. Gambit came up a lot in the news, too. Yeah, damn.
There's no real correlation there.
No? Oh, I thought that was like the theme of the... Okay, yeah.
No.
All right, never mind.
Yep. All right, so now that we're done with comic news and trivia, it's time to move on to the main course here.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this plagiarism, pettiness, all these comic book companies making all these characters and stealing from one another and doing all kinds of just shady shit to one another, basically.
And sometimes not even shady. Sometimes just blatant. Like, if you're going to copy a character, at least copy the good ones.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And, going through this, I was like, there's no way that all these... Like, some of these, I think, are just pure coincidence. Just
right.
Because,
that's what's on my list, too.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I don't know how that happens. Like, how like, two companies come out with a super similar character really close to one another as far as release dates go. But it happens.
Yeah.
Shit. So, you want to start us off? Who you got first on your list there, bro?
Well... My first ones are going to be very obvious ones, I'll go
That's
through...
fine. Yeah, we need...
Yeah.
Most of mine are,
Yeah. Let me go through mine real quick. In fact, I'm kind of tempted to make this a fun version and quiz you real quick on my list because and see how many of these who came first or not. All right, my turn to trivia you. Damn it! All right, so first one I wrote down without doing any lick of research at all. Probably the example that came to a lot of people's mind: Deathstroke versus Deadpool. Which one came first?
The Terminator.
Yep, that works too. Not what I expected you to say, but that works.
Well, that's what it was known by.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it. Yeah, Wasp and Bumblebee.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Hasbro. No, I'm thinking of Bumblebee the car.
Oh, that's why I'm sitting there thinking
I'm like, really? He brought in Transformers? Like, I was like, what are the similarities between Wasp and Bumblebee?
Believe it or not, and folks, I'm talking to you too, and Q, you're gonna remember this, but Transformers had a line of Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Like Marvel said, hey, we're gonna make you some comics, guys. Yeah. Yep.
Oh shit!
I know, right?
Bumblebee.
Wasp came first that time. Yeah, Bumblebee was the copy. Here's a super obvious one. Thanos and Darkseid. Darkseid. I always read his name, and it's like, I know that was them just trying to not write the word side, S-I-D-E, but I always read it, and it's like, no, I can't pronounce it that way. I just can't. I'm always going to mentally say to myself, Darkseid. But you're right, Darkseid, bleh, whatever. Namor versus Aquaman.
That was Namor by 2 years. Namor came first.
Yeah, Namor definitely came first. Yeah. But that one is one where I wrote down thinking, okay, that's actually a really good example of one. Yeah. Because, like you said, it's not that far apart in the retrospect, Green Arrow versus Hawkeye.
Green Arrow.
Yeah, that's one I never thought of. But it's like, no, that makes sense too, And they just changed the color schemes. Yeah. One is green, the other is purple, and sometimes black. Yeah. Atomic Skull versus Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
You're correct. Catwoman versus Black Cat.
Catwoman.
Mm-hmm. That was an easy one, yeah. Here's another easy one. Captain America versus Commander Steel.
Commander Steel is one of those super blatant rip-offs.
Yeah, it's like, really, guys, we're doing this?
Yeah. Cap.
Yeah, by far. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, wasn't Commander Steel, who's made by Rob Liefeld, right? Because I think the story behind him, it was either him or another Cap ripoff. The story behind that character, if I remember correctly, was that Rob Liefeld at the time was doing some work with Marvel, and he had some stories for Captain America that he wanted to do. but he had a falling out with Marvel, so he can no longer do those stories.
Oh, okay.
So he created his own hero.
He came off and made Image Comics. Yeah.
And he came off and made his own version of Captain America and did those stories basically.
Yeah. Which obviously was a huge, riveting success. Totally put Cap in the ground.
Oh yeah.
Quicksilver and Flash.
Flash.
Okay. Now these next few ones I don't know because I couldn't find the years for them, which was quite sad. Vision and Red Tornado.
That would be those two came out damn near at the same time.
Right. That's almost
it'd be. I think they said that Vision actually came out first.
Yeah, I was about to say they're both 90s, right? Am I
No,
wrong on
no.
that? No, they're not 90s.
No.
Okay.
No.
I couldn't remember. Doctor Strange and Doctor Fate.
That's a really good one, but I believe Doctor Fate came first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to say, Doctor Strange has definitely got more love recently, especially thanks to the movies. The movie, singular.
Yeah.
But, and the next few here I have written down, I wanted to actually talk more about and kind of like decipher whether or not these were actual ripoffs of each other. I mean, it's too easy to say, yeah, they're all ripoffs.
Right.
But, come on. So, Hulk and Solomon Grundy. That popped up on my list, and I'm kind of like, wait a minute. Okay. Like, they did some creative differences there, and that's why I wanted to...
Well, here's the thing. Like, a lot of these characters started off really similar, but then over the years and decades, they've been able to develop their own identities and personalities. I mean, so a lot of these guys did start off, as carbon copies of one another, but as the years went on, they kind of grew away from that.
Okay. So in other words, two restaurants, they both copy the same recipe. One restaurant decides, we'll just do these additives and these other flavors and whatnot in the same recipe. Right. Thus, same things, different outtakes now, thanks to the years of change.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think Solomon Grundy is the one that went through more change, or Hulk? It's easy to imagine Solomon Grundy knowing him, but
what do you do more changes?
Right. If these two did start off that similar, you think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, they both had metamorphosis, not just one. So I mean, they've both changed a lot since their debut.
Right.
I mean, so it's really hard to say. But,
okay.
But to me, they both had major changes. Though,
yeah. I think honestly now, thanks to the Hulk and what we know about him, not to make this another Hulk cast, but I feel like now the Hulk, imagining to myself, because I feel like this is a common question too, like which one would win in a fight?
Right.
I feel like the Hulk would tear its all in the ground and be one.
Yeah, most definitely, no question.
That would have been fun too. Crap, I wish I thought about that. Like all these copycats versus one another.
Yeah. I thought about that with a lot of the guys on my list. Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that in a second too. Hawkman and Angel. Yeah.
That one. Excuse me. That one I don't really think is a copy of one another.
No, I didn't think so either.
No, mostly because like Hawkman, there's so much more. No offense to Angel, to Warren Worthington III, but there's so much more lore behind Hawkman than Angel, just from my perspective. I mean, like there's the whole, of course, the Egyptian god thing, and then the fact that he's always, coming back to life, not resurrected, reincarnated. He's always been reincarnated. And I mean, so there's more of a rich lore with Hawkman. And then, of course, just the power set. I mean, Hawkman can do more than just fly. I mean, he has super strength. I mean, he's really, really quick. He has that mighty battle mace. I mean, so yeah, there's a little bit more to him, in my opinion. To me, Angel really didn't become that interesting until Apocalypse took him over and became Archangel. To me, like the similarities they have is that they both have wings. Yeah. And that's about where they end.
Right. I think that was one that someone just put on the list just to get attention or something.
Yeah. Angel, I mean, you can even tell by his name, Warren Worthington III. He's a rich guy. He's a rich kid.
Right. You're a rich kid and you gone too far.
No, stop. Even though he did rely on his old man's money.
Thank you. I was literally just about to skip to that part.
Shit.
He's just flown too far.
Okay.
And you're gonna know better anyway.
All right. Yep. It's done. It's
No,
done.
I can make it go further. I won't, but I can. And the last one on my little list here, Adam and Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, those two are way similar. Matter of fact, they spoiler alert even made my list. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, those guys are. Yeah, there's a lot in common they have. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and even.
Yeah, this is a great transfer piece then.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one should make the list. In your opinion. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have like 10 comparisons down here. My 10 favorite comparisons.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And with Adam and Ant-Man, of course, you have Ray Palmer and Hank Pym. Ray Palmer debuted in Showcase issue 34, October 61. Hank Pym debuted in Tales to Astonish issue 27, January 1962. So, yeah.
They did not wait a long time.
Not at all, yeah. I mean, they're both physicists who use their powers to manipulate their size, and they both also had some really nasty divorces. Of course, we all know Hank Pym, beating the shit out of Janet. Probably not the best thing he did, But yeah, that happened. I mean, but yeah, so you can easily look at these two and say that there's some similarities for sure. I mean, what are the chances that in October one year, maybe like October last year, this actually all never works because October last year we created the podcast Superhero Homies, and then that's when we started. And let's say that this month now there's a podcast called like Heroes of the Super and Their Homies.
That's a horrible name for one. I challenge that.
And then they do like the same type format and the same type podcast as us. It's like, while there is the chance that that's a coincidence, I'll be a little pissed.
I got a better name for them now. Here, check it.
Yeah.
Dudes of Valor.
I mean, I actually wouldn't think about that at all. I mean, that to me,
like if I were to make a knockoff name, that'd be mine right there. Copyright.
I wouldn't think that would. I wouldn't look at Dudes of Valor and think they copy Superhero Homies.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I was just thinking for a quality name. Damn it! I like that name.
I mean, because you can look at Adam and Ant-Man and then see how there's definitely there's something there,
right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, they both learn how to manipulate their sizes to not just become small, but eventually learn how to become big. So they
heroic dudes. Final answer.
There
you go. That would be a plagiarized name. Like, okay, Q, we're taking them to court. That's some bullshit. All right, guys. So don't start a podcast called Heroic Dudes. We'll come after you.
I mean, go ahead. I'm pretty sure we lose, but you can do what you want to do.
I would hope not. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Carry us forward, my friend. What else you got on that pretty little list?
Yeah. So, like a lot of my listeners really like looking at the comparisons between the two.
Okay.
And seeing why these guys are so similar.
Okay.
So, of course, first on my list also was Deathstroke and Deadpool, Slade and Wade.
See, that right there is just lazy copying. Just like, all right, erase those two letters and put a W. There you go.
Yeah. Pretty much.
They might as well have used the same sheet of paper.
I mean, the similarities with these guys, it goes on pretty long.
Yeah.
So Deathstroke, first of all, he was created in 1980, in the New Titans. Deadpool debuted in February 1991 in New Mutants issue 98. So of course, Deathstroke, he was created first by nearly 11 years. So some of the similarities go, first of all, aesthetically, they look alike. They share like the two-tone color palette, similar face mask and structure. They both have a similar build, both wield swords and gadgets, guns, grenades, that type thing, which are, they're littered over their body that you can see. They're both expert hand-to-hand combatants. They both have a healing factor, even though Deadpool's is outrageous.
Exactly, yeah. That's like his trump card in almost every fight.
Yeah. Now, some differences, of course, is that Deathstroke is really calm and calculated, and he plans out everything and he executes everything to a T. Deadpool does not.
No, Deadpool
is loud and chaotic, and like, so personality wise is where these two really differ. But come on, Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson, like, you can look at this and just see all the similarities here. Now, as far as how did Rob Liefeld get away with creating this, I don't know. I don't know.
The one creative thing, the one additive I will put up in the weak defense of Deadpool's creation was the idea that they gave his character the ability to break the fourth wall. That was the one thing where it's like, okay, that's a big
came
difference.
around eventually, and at first it was just a small little detail. Yeah, he didn't always have that ability. I mean, first Rob Liefeld did it. I think maybe a year or so later, it's just like a throwaway thing that Deadpool did in a single panel. He referenced something that another character did in another comic, but that was that. It didn't didn't have any real significant impact. And then it's like, well, maybe I'll do it again sometime later. And then it kind of blew up into its own thing. So
it was an accidental power.
Right.
Well, see, there goes the only defense. Like I said, it was a weak defense. Damn.
Yeah. And as far as these characters go, I love them both, man. They're both outstanding characters.
For different reasons, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can look at these two characters, and like, if you just look at the paper and look at the similarities, then you can easily write off Deadpool as a knockoff. But fortunately, like, even from his inception, personality wise, he's just so much vastly different than his counterpart Deathstroke that you can't really compare the two that way. Who do you think was in the fight between these two?
Oh, shit. I was going to ask you that. We think too much alike. To be honest, and I say this with a deep sigh, and I know that there's some fans out there, some of which I might even know, who's going to give me some backlash for this, but I feel like I have to give it to Deadpool. Just because of his damn regenerative ability, his trump card. Sure, Deathstroke has one too, but Deadpool is gonna grow back like his whole damn arm. Come on. I don't know if that will win him the fight. Maybe Deathstroke could incapacitate him, and in that case, Deathstroke not 100% at the time. But I mean,
I think that if you ran a simulation between the two, I think that Deadpool wins 6 times out of 10.
Okay.
So it's
so if you ran 10 simulations, okay, damn, that's a lot of regenerating. I mean,
and once again, I do think that it'd be 2 things that win him the fight. It'd be his healing factor first and foremost,
right,
and his unpredictability would be second.
Right, that makes sense.
And just be because Deathstroke, for a while, not the entire fight, but for a while, Deathstroke would have a hard time predicting what Deadpool would do next. He had to think about the unthinkable to understand Deadpool's mind. But I think that these are both wildly popular characters, and for good reason. They're both really fun.
Now I have 2 more questions actually, and you're right, they're both great characters. I really enjoy them both. Like, I'm enthralled with Deathstroke's ability himself, and I'm entertained wildly by Deadpool, obviously. Right. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds. But here's a question. Now, when did Rob Liefeld give Deadpool his more complicated backstory? What with the cancer and whatnot? Like, was that from the get-go?
As far as I know, that was pretty much from the get-go.
Really? Okay. Is that a similar case with Deathstroke? Because if it is, I'm unaware of it. I'm trying to think of like any other plausible differences.
Well, I mean, they were both technically given their powers by the government.
So, right, yeah.
I mean, because Deathstroke did receive his powers from the government as well. As far as like the intricacies of his backstory, I really only know the tragic stuff. Like, unfortunately, his one of his sons, dying, and then his wife shooting out his eye because of it, and his wife subsequently leaving him. Oh, yeah.
Gee, I wonder why. Okay.
Yeah.
So they both do at least have different backstories. It wasn't like Wade Wilson lost his daughters or something, you know.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's good. It wasn't
Well,
that.
at least that we're aware of, because he has Deathstroke. He has like a softer version of like a Joker type origin, in the sense of that he also claims to like, well, this is what I think happened, and sometimes just kind of make shit up, you know?
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. My other question I wanted to ask. Now, this one I'm less serious about.
Oh, jeez.
If these guys were to team up, right? Deathstroke and Deadpool, would they actually be a good team, you think?
You know, I have a picture on my computer that I was going to post earlier. It's a picture of Deathstroke stabbing Deadpool with both his swords through the back. I think that's exactly what would happen.
I think that's exactly what like. I literally imagine Deathstroke just getting pissed off and just like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Just, all right.
Right.
You're done. Incapacitate you. Make you have to heal here where you can't move. And I leave.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
I do think that once Deathstroke learns that, okay, if I cut this guy's head off and keep him separated from his body, he's going to die. Then I think that's what happens.
I wouldn't put past him either.
Yeah.
He'd be like, okay, now let me just go find Batman. I gotta go get a real fight. Yeah.
Number 2 on my list is Elongated Man versus Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, gosh. I forgot about Elongated Man. That's a bad name, honestly. In my opinion, that's just a bad name.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Elongated Man is a bad name.
You should have just gone with Stretch. That would have been a pretty okay name for a comic book world. Come on.
It's just Elongated Man. It's kind of a mouthful.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, pro side, you learn what the word elongated is if you're a young kid learning, reading this, like, oh, elongated man. Look that up real quick.
Yeah.
Because, they still use dictionaries to do that, as I imagine flipping through pages. Oh, there it is,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Elongated Man, real name is Ralph Dibny. And the only real reason he came to mind is because I saw him somewhat recently on The Flash. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw him on the list too.
Okay.
His real name is Ralph Dibny, and he first debuted in Flash, Volume 1, issue number 12, May 1960. And Reed Richards, of course, Mr. Fantastic, debuted in Fantastic Four, issue number 1, November 1961. So Elongated Man does precede Mr. Fantastic.
What? Yeah. Not what I expected. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. Their origins are different.
Yeah.
But after that, they're pretty much the same character. Okay. So Ralph's
it's like they made a little bit better of an effort.
Yeah. So Ralph, his origins is a little strange, to be honest.
I remember reading about it actually. Yeah. But please enlighten us. Yeah.
So Ralph Dibny, as a teen, he really admired contortionists, and he wanted to become one himself. So he would try. He became a pretty decent contortionist all on his own. But then he noticed that all these contortionists, they drank this soda called Gin Gold that would really help them contort more. I don't know if it's like some kind of magical kombucha or what, but yeah, they drank this stuff called Gin Gold. And now Ralph, he grew up to be a chemist. And so once he became a chemist, he realized that he could create a highly concentrated form of this Gin Gold soda. And that's what he did. And he drank it, and thus he became Elongated Man. Yep. And of course, Reed Richards and crew got their powers by traveling on a space mission and getting hit by a giant-ass wave of cosmic energy.
Right. That's a better story.
That's a better story.
It's not based on soda.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like if there was an actual soda called Gin Gold, then I would think that Elongated Man was just propaganda for this soda.
Right. It's like me going up and saying, oh man, I really, enjoy all these, oh man, all these models of mine are big time weightlifters. Oh, I want to get all big and strong like them. And they all drink this brand of energy drink. Well, let me go make an energy drink. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's so bad.
Yeah. Both are extremely intelligent, though, and they're highly respected members of their universes because of their intellect. Their powers, if you ask me, are exactly the same. Now, they're depending on who you talk to, because I'm sure there's some sticklers out there who know better than I do, and who would want to point a finger at this immediately. They would say, "That's not the case, Quentin and superhero homies." What actually happens is that, sure, elongated man, he can stretch his body to any proportions and limits, but Mr. Fantastic, he actually warps reality around him, giving the illusion that he does. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know if that's factual, and secondly, I think that it's just it's easier to say he can stretch himself.
And it's not too far reaching to just cut through the bullshit and say, okay, that was just a creative written sentence that some creator possibly wrote down in explanation.
The only place I think that implemented that was like that terrible Fantastic Four movie.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, no. That just needs to be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they need to start having like a "this is not canon" announcement beforehand?
Well, I don't know. And also, the last similarity is that they both married women named Sue. So yeah. There's that.
I'm gonna hold back my music joke.
I would ask you who wins between this, but honestly, even when I asked myself that question for preparation, I was like, I don't care.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Like,
you read my mind.
It's a tie. They would tie it, like they would form one giant knot, and it would be a tie.
Literally.
Yeah. It would literally be a tie.
No, I was literally just about to tell you I don't care. Actually, I don't have the mental energy to think about it because it's pointless.
No disrespect to those two characters. It's just that this is a fight that I don't think many people are yammering for. I don't think many people are asking for elongated man versus Mr. Fantastic.
No.
Now, one that people may be asking for is my next pick on here, which is Black Cat and Catwoman, which you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
So, of course, Selena Kyle was her very first appearance was in Batman issue number 1, spring in 1940, and Felicia Hardy's first appearance was in Amazing Spider-Man issue 194 in July of 79. So there's literally almost a 40-year gap between the two.
That's cool. Yeah. That's okay.
It is. These characters do have a lot of stark similarities, though. So both are extremely, we'll say, charming. They're both extremely charming. They both have formed romantic relationships with the flagship hero, of course, Batman and Spider-Man. They both have similar peak human abilities in the sense that they're both extremely agile, fast, stealthy, and they both use a form of like claws when they fight as well. Black Cat more so than Selena Kyle, but still on occasion Selena does whip out the claws. They are both cat burglars. They both walk the line between hero and villain. They both refer to felines in their names. And of course they're both almost seductionists when it comes to interacting with the main heroes.
Those seducers.
Oh yeah. As far as like the differences go, one of the main differences that I can think of off the bat is really the fact that Black Cat does technically have or had superpowers. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, almost a domino-like power where she could, and she could evade probabilities in a way that she can cause bad luck for those going against her. And yeah, so it's almost like she can escape like almost impossible like odds, or she could cause things to happen that are like super improbable. Yeah, for her benefit. But yeah, so yeah, Black Cat and Catwoman. I thought.
So wait, let me pause you real quick and make this a short discussion. You said that she had Now, were those like retcon or something? What's the story there? Why
they weren't really retcons. So at first, it's kind of a interesting, not really convoluted, but complex tale.
Okay.
So at first, when people thought she had powers, they were actually just like elaborate stunts that she would set up, and then because of her agility, she would nail them to a T.
Right.
And so people would think, well, does she have any kind of abilities? And she eventually gained abilities. I forget how. Sorry from listeners. But she eventually gained abilities.
Okay.
And yeah, to manipulate chance almost. Not quite on a domino level, but they thought she was a mutant. But she wasn't. She gained abilities some other manner. I forget how.
All right. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah. And then she lost her powers. I think it was because of some kind of invention that Tinkerer made. Caused her to lose her powers, and now she uses gadgets and whatnot to kind of replicate a little bit and to make up for it. But
okay,
yeah. Now, to me, the biggest difference though comes in with these two characters as of recently. So as of recently, Batman and Catwoman got engaged.
Yeah.
The last encounter that Black Widow and Spider-Man had did not go quite so well. So this was during the Superior Spider-Man arc, and that was when Dr. Octopus had taken over Peter Parker's body. And I don't know if you remember that story arc. It was just a couple years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was actually a really good arc. And it was during this time when Doc Ock saw Black Cat, and she was doing her thing, her Black Cat thing, and she saw Spider-Man. She's thinking, "Oh, hey, Spider-Man," and in fact, it was not Spider-Man technically. Yeah. And he beat the piss out of her, and he treated her like any common criminal. He made her go to jail, or he contained her so the police could come and take her to jail. Her identity was then released to the public. She was Felicia Hardy, and so her personal life was now a wreck, and so now she kind of has like a little vendetta against Spider-Man or Peter Parker. And then,
kind of helped her to decide which side of the line to get on. He did the pushing there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's it for Black Cat and Catwoman. Black Catwoman. Yeah.
That would be the really bad amalgam character. Yeah. Like those amalgam comic series, yeah.
I feel like if you combine those two, they're just the same character.
They're just the same. Like their hair,
they'll look different.
I guess the hair would be gray because Felicia has like a white hair almost. Yeah, like a platinum white fur. And Selena Kyle obviously black. Yeah. So it's like okay, let's go gray.
Yeah. What if like if you take two characters and put them in an amalgam comic? What if like instead of them. Like, what if they're similar like that? Instead of them remaining similar, they become like opposite. So she becomes like out of shape, ugly, like non-charming, and
like these two great positives became a horrible negative. Yeah. Like, oh gosh, I'm glad math doesn't work that way. Because then you'd be like, "Hey, Batman! Oh gosh!
Oh jeez, what is that?"
Like Bruce Wayne comes out first. He's like, "What the? Oh!" And then he remembers he's Batman. Oh, I'm no, Catwoman, we can't. Oh man, no.
Yeah. Except he's Batman first, then he's Bruce Wayne second.
Well, it'd be that surprising.
Next up, it's another one that you named off. Namor and Aquaman.
I was just looking at that one.
Yeah. So Namor, he made his first appearance in a comic that really needed a name change. Motion picture. Wait, I can't even read my own hair. Oh, Motion Picture Funnies Weekly is the name of the comic he debuted in. Yeah.
He wasn't the Submariner yet? Damn, okay.
No, he was Namor the Submariner. He was always Namor the Submariner.
Oh, okay. But, I remember one comic just being called the Submariner. Yeah, but okay.
No, it was Motion Picture Funnies Weekly. And this came out in April 1939. And of course, Aquaman, he came out in More Fun Comics, issue 73, November 1941. So
neither of them got a self-titled comic yet.
No, a lot of these guys back then.
No, of course they didn't.
Most didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about them is that if you would have just said, well, they're both two underwater characters, I would say, well, yeah, there's no real similarities there then. Like, I wouldn't say that one copied the other. You can just let that go. But there are some stark similarities. One thing, they're both half-breed rulers of Atlantis.
Yep. And that affects Namor more so in the lore.
Yeah.
Thank you. I did not do that on purpose, believe it or not. I know you don't. But I believe that affects Namor more than it does Aquaman, real quick. Because I remember actually reading somewhere in the comics that apparently Namor does have to spend equal amounts of time on air and underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. Of course, Namor, he's half mutant and half human, whereas Arthur Curry is half human, half... I lied the first time around. Namor is half mutant, half Atlantean.
Right.
And of course, Arthur Curry is half Atlantean, half human. So yeah, there's that. And they're, like I said, they're both rulers of Atlantis. So they both rule the same kingdom somehow.
Somehow, yeah. Thank goodness they don't actually share the same universe.
Yeah. They have...
I just imagine like gang wars. Like, oh my gosh, Namor's like the west side and Aquaman's the east side. Oh gosh.
Oh man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like a really, really bad under the water west side story or something. Yeah. What are we doing? What's going on, buddy?
Yeah. So they have nearly identical powers. There are some differences, of course. Aquaman has that badass trident. That thing is nearly unbreakable, and it can even pierce Superman's skin. Yeah, so it's damn powerful. And of course, Aquaman can also, as they say, talk to fish. But of course, he's sending telepathic signals to sea life is what he's doing, and suggesting to them to do his bidding. And Namor can fly, which I never understood.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever notice those little wings on Namor's ankles?
His little weak Icarus shoes. He's just like, all right, feet, fly me.
But, as far as Namor flying is concerned, I always chalk that up to him being half mutant. Maybe that was his mutant power or part of it.
Or he's part fly fish.
Oh, damn it.
I'm not even sorry.
You need to be.
Nope. I stake my flag in this pun.
You need to apologize to the listeners right this moment. Yeah. But, so that's about it for Namor and Aquaman. But I thought it was just really interesting how those two have such a similar background. And even their personalities are similar. Namor is a bit more brash than Aquaman is.
Yeah.
But they both take their jobs as rulers extremely seriously. And they both do have these kingly type attitudes that sometimes get them in trouble, and they both fight fiercely for their homelands. But who do you think wins in the fight between these two?
Oh man, honestly, I think I'd give it to Namor, my bud. Yeah. Trident or no trident, I feel like Namor would still take the role there. To be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason Momoa.
I gotta give it to Aquaman.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Mostly because I'm lazy and don't feel like thinking, and that's what happened to the Malcolm comic. That's right. Aquaman beat Namor.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember reading that in middle school. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep, that happened.
Okay. Case closed.
Yep.
Though I do have to say real quick before we go off to your next one that DC has a great opportunity here to correct a wrong that they have been writing for too long.
What's that?
Yes, I meant for that rhyme to happen as well. They have the chance now to finally make Aquaman Samoan because it makes so much sense to me. Come on, man.
You keep saying that, but like, what's the real correlation?
It just... Okay, when I think... I don't know, man. Shit.
Because now I feel like you're about to walk...
character.
I feel like you're about to walk into like some kind of racial stereotype.
No, not really. No. I mean, first off, I just want it to happen. That's my only reason. I just want it to happen.
My thing is like, had you never seen Jason Momoa as Aquaman, would you have thought that?
I wouldn't have cared. Who thinks about Aquaman on a regular basis like that? You know,
I read a lot of Justice League.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
But I know you think of other superheroes before you ever come across freaking Aquaman, you know?
Hey, this podcast leads me to think about a lot of things that I normally wouldn't.
Okay. You're talking about current events. We're talking about the past. If you're going to put me there, we got to put you there too. We're not thinking about...
So, okay, the past, like, a year and a half ago when you first said that Aquaman should be Samoan.
You're right, I have been saying that for a minute, yeah. But, I just really want it, man.
I'm not saying that I'm against it. I'm just wondering why.
I just want it.
So, if Jason Momoa was a white guy, do you think that the role would still be the same?
What I think the what now?
That the role would still be the same.
The role?
Yeah, of Aquaman. I mean, like,
what do you mean, like the role in the movie?
Well, I mean, because you're implying that Aquaman should be Samoan, and I'm trying to figure out the correlation here. So I'm taking Jason Momoa, pretend that he's a white guy.
Not just Samoan. No, yeah. I really just want them to copy and paste Jason Momoa's image.
Okay, so that's what I was trying to. That's what I was trying to get at, because you kept saying like he should be Samoan. I'm trying to figure out what.
Okay, well maybe I've been unclear for a year and a half apparently. Yeah. But I don't know. Well, first off, I enjoyed Jason Momoa's interpretation of Aquaman in the movie. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. Plus, he kind of brought the character back to life for me. I feel like, and a few other fans out there. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, this character is actually kind of cool again. We can actually enjoy him a little bit more instead of the Justice Leaguer who talks to fish. You know. Yeah. And I enjoyed it, and I was like, man. I wish that was, what they did in the comics. That they had Jason Momoa then and said, hey, that could have been some cool shit.
That's like almost an entirely different sentence than what you were saying.
It is. I can understand that now. Thank you for talking it out with me. I feel like in the past you brushed me off, and that's cool. That's cool. But it doesn't stop me from still wanting it. Yeah. Okay.
Next is another one that's really near and dear to my heart personally. It's the Green Lantern Corps versus the Nova Corps.
Okay, we're going to an entire corporation now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then of course we'll break it down to Hal Jordan versus Richard Rider. But this one was one I had a lot of fun with. So the Green Lantern Corps, they debuted in Showcase Comics issue number 22, September 1959. That's when the Green Lantern Corps debuted. Green Lantern himself debuted in All American Comics issue 16, July 1940. Nova Corps debuted in Fantastic Four issue 204, March 1979, while the character Nova, Richard Rider, debuted in Nova number 1, September 1976.
So clarify that real quick for us in just a simple statement. Who came first?
Green Lantern.
Thank you. Let's just make that clear to everybody out there. Yeah.
Yep. So once again, Green Lantern debuted in 1940, Green Lantern Corps, 1959. So even the Green Lantern Corps came before the Nova Corps. Nova Corps, 1979. Nova himself, 1976. So of course, this is one that I feel like a lot of people don't think about a lot, but the similarities are definitely there. So I want you to tell me which group this is based off this description. Okay?
This is going to be fun.
You have an intergalactic space police force who patrol the universe and battles any cosmic evil that threatens their specific jurisdiction.
Still doesn't help.
Who am I talking about?
Okay. Does this one you're talking about in particular have a certain city that they're not allowed to step foot in without the permission of a certain powerful hero of, strong renown who...
You're asking if Hal Jordan has that permission to Batman before he enters Gotham.
Or the Lantern Corps, actually. Yeah. Because you're right, and the point you're making stands strong. Yeah. They are very... stupid similar.
Yeah, they are. And I get it because like the idea of the Green Lantern Corps is an extremely unique one and really awesome. Good. Yeah, it makes just a whole lot of sense. that you would have something like this. Instead of having just like your typical heroes, but in space, having like this cosmic military style police force that polices the universe. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But so that's like the similarities between the corps, between Green Lantern Corps and of course Nova Corps.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about the similarities between Richard Rider and Hal Jordan.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so Hal Jordan, he was chosen by Abin Sur, who was dying by way of the power ring. And Richard Rider was chosen by a dying member of the Nova Corps named Roman Day. Both Abin Sur and Roman Day crash landed on Earth. Both were in a dying state.
Damn, it's like these companies don't even try. I hope that's what a lot of you guys is out there saying too. Like, this is a opening and breaking down the veil for you here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, it just makes me laugh because I'm like, okay, the chances of this just being coincidental is none. There's no way. No way it's just coincidence. Now, as far as the powers go, like on a power scale, they do have similar actual power, but their abilities and what they can do are a little bit different.
Okay.
The Nova Corps, I feel like they do have better suits overall because their suits serve really more of a function and purpose than the Green Lantern Corps. The Green Lantern Corps is more just like a uniform where you can identify them. But yeah, the Nova Corps, like their suits are designed to help them in a lot of different manners, to help them absorb energy that they use back at the enemies. It can be used to help stabilize them if they're injured. I mean, there's a lot of ways that their powers can be used. And of course, the Green Lantern's main tool is the power ring, which they can use to conjure up pretty much any kind of construct they can think of and will it to be. But there are more similarities, though. So they both have like their home world where like their base of operations is at. Of course, for the Nova Corps is Xander or Xandor, and for the Green Lantern Corps is Oa. Both of their home planets were destroyed and they had to rebase somewhere else. Both of them have like a central power source that they draw from as far as their power goes. So yeah, like there are similarities here between these two that you really can't deny. And the whole point of this, though, is it's not exactly to pick fun at any particular group. Like, if you love the Nova Corps and hate Green Lantern, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You're wrong, but that's your prerogative. And I respect it. But my whole point, though, is that it's not to pick on any group, but it is just to make mention that there's something fishy going on.
Right. Like
me, I love both the Nova Corps and the Green Lantern Corps. As a matter of fact, what inspired me to really put this group down was a couple of podcasts ago. I think it was maybe the Thanos podcast. Okay. And Nova came up, and I was talking about Nova, and then it hit me like, there's something here. There's something really. I know I said that Nova, he's one of my favorite cosmic characters in the Marvel universe, but of course, overall, my favorite cosmic character is Green Lantern. And then, as soon as I said that, my brain like subconsciously made all these links and connections, and I was like, "Well, shit."
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, Hal Jordan and Richard Rider. Which, by the way, Richard Rider, I wish they give him a different name because his name is basically Dick Rider. And I don't like that.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but you're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It is.
Sorry to any of our friends out there which happen to might possibly have the name Richard.
Yep.
Indeed.
I mean, as long as your last name isn't Rider, then it's fine. Mm-hmm. Like Dick Grayson is fine. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. It's worked for him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's see. So next on the list here, I would do a versus here with Green Lantern and Nova. I don't know how much you know about Nova or
no. I mean, I was about to say Green Lantern. Yeah. I'll go ahead and give it to him because I know him better.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason.
Oh, bullshit.
Ooh-wee.
Yep.
All right. What's next, bud?
Brainiac and Ultron.
I thought about writing that one down, actually. Like, I looked up a few others outside of my own knowledge, and it was like, that came up. And, that was another one I would have wanted to talk to you more so about, but please explain it further for us. Go ahead and, give us a brief real quick.
Yeah, so of course, our boy Brainiac debuted in Action Comics. You can imagine against who? Issue 242 in 1958.
That was Superman, people, just in case you don't know. Okay.
Ultron came along in Avengers issue 55, August 1968. So 10 years later, Ultron came along. So obviously, both these characters are villains. They're both highly intelligent AI, and they're nearly impossible to kill.
You don't say. The guy with the name Brain in his name is smart. That might be a little too on the nose, but yes. Yeah.
Maybe so, yeah. Well, it was the 50s.
Oh, of course, you can get away with it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's true. They are both nearly impossible to kill. Like you take Ultron, and you may be able to kill like a shell of him or something that hosts him. You may be able to even destroy like his main like computer base. But the fact of the matter is, like both these things can transfer their consciousness to other shells, to other hosts.
Now, is Brainiac digital as well? Like, I know Ultron can basically become the internet. Like he can just submerge himself into pure data, and he's invincible then. Right. There's no getting rid of him.
Yeah. Now, see, that is interesting because it depends on which version of Brainiac we're talking about, because he's been retconned a couple times.
I hear you.
Yeah. He was just like this evil alien overlord, and then they changed him to like an android. And then it was changed to like more of like a digital enemy. Because like in one, I'm trying to think, was it in the comics? I think it was originally in like the Superman TV show or animated cartoon, and then developed for the comics. But he, in this version, he was like a Kryptonian AI.
Okay.
And after the destruction of Krypton, he was able to upload himself to like a satellite, and then he was going around just kind of observing and gathering information on all alien life form. That's one of my favorite versions of the enemy. Now, one other thing that they also have in common is that they both have this skewed sense of morality. And I say skewed, but maybe they have it right and we have it wrong. I mean, because we don't have emotions and attachments calling our judgments. I mean, because we do, but they don't. So for them, like they think with all numbers and logic. And so for them, they're like, well, like you guys are more of a danger to each other than anything. Like, the universe doesn't care if you're here or not. So yeah, they both really don't give a shit about humans or Earth for the same reason,
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting one as well.
Yeah.
And of course, they can also do that cool thing where they amass giant armies / clones of themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, stupid comes in handy, and they're all technically the same being, so you know it's going to be the perfect army for their will. Yeah. But
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking back, and when I think Brainiac, the first thing that comes to mind is the image of him in that cartoon show. Because that was my introduction to him as a kid.
Right.
But then when I think Ultron, I just kind of sigh a little bit and think of like his, I don't know, how they watered him down for us in the Avengers movie, which we'll talk about in a few weeks here, folks. By the way, but it's like, oh, that was definitely a good chunk of Ultron. But
right.
It's like they admitted they had to retcon him too.
Yeah,
it's like,
they admitted they had to water him down a little bit,
just so they could one and done him like all the others. Yeah. And that's like, oh, that's a little sad.
And that's unfortunate because I love a villain like Ultron, one who's hard to beat. So I thought that maybe they just get really creative with how they defeat him. No, he got blasted to death by Vision, Thor, and Iron Man.
Right, Tri-beam, yeah. It's like, oh, what?
Yeah, and that was enough to defeat Ultron.
Apparently,
that's how you kill the internet.
That's how you kill data. You really want to defeat your internet history? Go call those three.
Yeah. Oh man. There's just a couple more I had here I want to talk
what's
about.
up, man?
Red Hood and Winter Soldier.
Good one. I did not think about that at all.
Yeah.
Please enlighten us more, and myself at this time included.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite ones here, just because I love both these characters so much.
I was about to say, you know I'm a Winter Soldier fan.
Oh yeah. So of course, this one's interesting because you have two characters, but like 4 sets of identities. You know,
Yup.
Jason Todd, who made his first appearance in Batman 357 back in 1983, and then you have Bucky, who debuted in Captain America March in 1941. So Bucky precedes Jason Todd by leaps and bounds. Even though Jason Todd isn't he's not a ripoff of Bucky Barnes. The similarities between like these two in their beginning stages are very few and far between.
Right.
The only thing they have in common, like for their origins, that they're both teenage sidekicks, which was, a dime a dozen way back when.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
But now the similarities come when we get to their final forms. To the parts of them that everyone loves.
Right.
So Red Hood. I mean, this also I had to do like a lot of digging. Like I don't know if you noticed, but I even had the graphic novel sitting on my couch because I was doing research on these guys, trying to get more concrete information here. So with Red Hood, he debuted in Under the Red Hood. Now Under the Red Hood began, I think the first issue came out like November of 2004, and it ran through March of 2006, whereas Bucky came back as Winter Soldier and Captain America issue 1, which came out January 2005. So these guys literally came out like during the same time. So it's really weird. Technically Jason Todd or Red Hood came out first, because the first issue of Under the Red Hood came out in 2004, November 2004. Okay. But yeah, they came out really close to one another. So now, as far as like more of their similarities go, like I said, they're both teen sidekicks who tragically died via explosion, even.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, that's a way to go, man.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Right. Even though I would say that Jason Todd got the worst end of the stick or crowbar.
Nah. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there.
You see what I did there. What you did.
Oh, shit.
I know, right?
They're both characters that, honestly, no one cared about. You know what I mean? Like, if Bucky Barnes stayed dead, I don't think anyone would be up in arms.
Yeah, no.
Same thing with Jason Todd. They even voted Jason Todd to die. That's how he died. Just that fans voted for him to die.
I remember you first telling me that some time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But when they came back, they both came back as these badasses who fought their masters, or their mentors. They fought their mentors. And, they both have some real psychological trauma going on. Of course, Bucky having memory issues and also, trying to figure out who he is and then what he's supposed to do, trying to find his own identity again. That was a whole struggle for him. And of course, with Red Hood, Jason trying to forgive Bruce, not really. The main reason why he was so upset with Bruce is that he could forgive everything else. He said, I can even forgive you for letting me die, but I can't forgive you for letting him live, him being the Joker.
I loved that scene in the animated movie, dude. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was a great animated movie, great graphic novel, great story.
Yeah.
Both these guys do have similar abilities as well. Being expert hand-to-hand combatants, experts with guns and explosives, like experts with doing a lot of these covert-like missions.
Right, yeah. All-around badasses.
Yeah, all-around badasses. Both of them were handfuls for their mentors to fight. Both, Batman and Captain America had a hard time dealing with their respective, former sidekicks.
Right.
Yeah. And also, like, these were both highly regarded stories. Like, Under the Red Hood was extremely highly regarded. Like, came out of nowhere, and it was an amazing story. And same thing with the Winter Soldier graphic novel written by Ed Brubaker. That was just another amazing story that, once again, no one expected, really. No one expected Jason Todd to come back. There was no reason to bring him back. No one expected Bucky Barnes to come back for the same reason. No real reason to bring him back. But not only were they successfully brought back, but they were brought back way better than they ever were.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, their reincarnation was, holy shit, they're amazing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
here's a question for you, my man. So, we have Sebastian Stan and his amazing performance to thank for the Winter Soldier being on big screen finally.
Yep.
You know what I'm going to ask. I see it in your face now, man.
Yep.
Who deserves, and yes, I chose that word on purpose, who deserves to fill the role of Jason Todd on screen as the Red Hood?
So, we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
We did. We're going to bring it back up right now.
Yeah. And, I was hanging out with Caleb one day, and he especially said Jensen Ackles, and I was like, that's a good point.
Okay, you know what?
That's a good point.
I feel like Caleb and you share a superpower in that sense. Caleb being one of our old guest stars. Go check out the old episode. Which episode did he help us with? It was the Justice League preview. Yeah,
preview. Justice League preview.
That's what I said. What'd you say? I said preview. All right, what was his name again? Hit me.
Jensen Ackles. He plays in Supernatural. He voiced Red Hood and Under the Red Hood.
Oh, this dude?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm cool with that.
You saw he had some reservation.
No, I had to think about it, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not just going to say, okay, because everyone else is on it. No, I got to, imagine him in the shit. Like, I know in freaking Supernatural, he's rocking those jackets all the time, so he definitely had the costume down for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Right. Yeah. Jensen Ackles, he's a lot of people's choice. Simply because, like, he does look like he can fill the part. And, because he did such a good job of voicing the character.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a possible pick. My only pick is that he may have aged out at this point. I don't know.
Who else would you pick then? Let me get a second placer.
Oh, man.
I know there's a few we talked about. I'm not sure if you want to bring any of those up.
I'm trying to remember even who I may have mentioned, who we mentioned then.
I mean, we talked about Kit Harington. That's come up a time or two. Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. I mean, he could definitely carry like the the brooding side of it all.
Right.
The attitude.
Here's the thing, like whoever plays Red Hood, like, they've got to be a damn good physical actor, because for most of the movie, we won't see their face.
Right, yeah.
Their face will be completely covered. And also, I don't know if Kit Harington can, change that accent any. I don't know.
Right, we've never seen him try.
Yeah.
We might have to YouTube that later on. Kit Harington doing no accent.
Right. Maybe his American accent is terrible. We don't know.
That's an invitation to you, Kit. Looking at you.
But let's see. Like, I'm trying to think about it now. I don't. That's hard, man.
I know, right?
That's hard.
That's why I asked you, and not you me.
Yeah. Don't beat me up for saying this, okay? And I'm not saying that I even completely agree. Okay. But I'm saying that I will allow the opportunity to see how this actor would do. Okay, so I'm looking at the age group.
Okay,
and I'm looking at the physical structure of the actor that we need.
Okay,
and
I'm really worried what you're about to say. Like, you're really amping this up. Like, you're building a barrier around yourself right now.
This answer right here could just kill the fan base, and then we have to shut down.
Am I gonna flip this table? All right, just go ahead and tell me, guys. Go easy on him with whatever he says. Let's hear it. Let's hear him out.
And once again, this isn't really my pick. This is more of like what I've heard other people say, and I'm like, well, I can kind of see it.
Okay.
I can kind of see it.
All right. I'm gonna hold my breath. We'll see.
What do you think about Zac Efron?
What the shit? I did not. Okay. Give me a second here. Let me actually stew in it.
Yeah,
You know?
like actually think about it, because
right.
at first I had the same reaction that most people would have, which is really Zach.
Yeah,
Efron?
like
But
yeah.
if you sit and think on it,
Well, let me don't try to sell me.
oh,
Don't.
Yep.
Let me think about it because I mean he's got the build. You know, he definitely. Oh, what the hell was it? The bad
High School Musical.
No. What the shit?
I'm just kidding.
Not really flipping shit. I'm leaving.
Baywatch.
Yeah, that's right. The Baywatch remake with
Yeah.
The Rock and him. Yeah, he got all buff and stuff for that movie. Did you see it, by the way?
Buff and stuff.
Buff and stuff.
That's the name of my future protein store.
You're gonna sell protein shit, and they're like protein pizza.
Yeah.
I'm still expecting that. Damn it. That's a long running joke, but did you see that movie? By the way, was it?
I didn't.
No,
I didn't.
Me neither. I didn't care to.
Yeah.
But okay, he. Oh, you know what?
Like-
I'd be willing to throw him a bone and give him a chance.
Yeah.
you
Like
know?
I think that this would be
Let me watch the audition first.
right.
Yeah.
Like, I think it'd be a great opportunity for Zach to really step up his game. You know.
And not do other movies.
I mean,
No-
'cause he was
no
also
offense.
in the Neighbors with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, I did see that actually.
Yeah, so I
enjoyed it.
wanted to see it, but I never got around to it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was okay, you know.
Yeah.
Not my favorite Seth Rogen flick, but
Right.
a good one.
Yeah.
A fun one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I mean, I figure like he's right at the perfect age for it. You know, I think he's maybe the right height and build for it. I think that he'd be down to do a lot of the actiony stuff that he had to do.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, so yeah, like he like once again, he really had to step up and show that he has that kind of range.
right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
the big question.
You got to show like unbridled rage that
Yeah.
you have to keep it in all at the same time.
And are you willing to not try to be the pretty boy and actually put on a mask and hide
Well, you know,
yourself
because
this
like
whole time?
he was, you know, a teen star and then like a young adult star. I
Right.
feel like maybe now he's at the age where maybe he wants to show people he's more than that.
Right.
This would be an opportunity.
That's the classic mindset for a Disney child star, you know.
Well, because
Yeah.
most of them don't make it this far.
Most of them, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to think about that because
Yeah.
the ones that come to mind are the ones that did make it this far, you know, and further. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the other big names. We won't go into that. That's a whole nother subject. But
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Did you have another one on your list, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last one that I wanted to touch on here was one that was near and dear to my heart, and once again, like this was something that was hard for me to do because for the
dear.
most part, I love all these characters, and these last two characters I love tremendously. You listen to the top 5 favorite heroes of all time podcast, and you know that I truly love these heroes.
Let's rip that Band-Aid off, buddy.
Yep. So the last on my list here is Batman and Black Panther. Yep.
I was wondering if we were going to talk about that. Okay.
Yeah. So once again, obviously over the decades, these characters have grown to have their own identities.
Right.
And
Like you said in the beginning.
yeah, like in the very beginning. And with these two, it's definitely no different. Batman, of course, he was created in Detective Comics issue number 27, March of 1939. Black Panther debuted in Fantastic Four, issue 52, July 1966. So there's quite the gap
Issue
there.
2?
52.
Okay. No, I'm sorry. I thought I heard 2, and I was just like, wait a minute. What? But 52 makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
still pretty early on.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
So they're both extremely wealthy and extremely highly regarded men in their societies.
Black Panther supposedly more so than Batman, correct?
Black Panther has more money than any comic book character.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought so. Just
Yeah.
making sure we clarify the fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, they're both extremely wealthy and extremely well-respected men in their society. Of course, referring to T'Challa and Bruce Wayne more so.
Yeah.
They're both expert hand-to-hand combatants. Like, when it comes to fisticuffs, there's not a whole lot of people who can best them. As a matter of fact, even in the comics, one that I was reading, Black Panther put down Captain America. I mean, yeah, it just happened. Put him down. I mean, yeah, so they're both extremely well versed when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. Like, you're gonna find a hard time beating them you're gonna have a hard day. They both have extremely high intellect. They use high-tech suits and gadgets, and depending on who the artist is, they even have similar appearances.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. These are some similar characters. Black Panther is even referred to as like the Batman of the Marvel Universe. Now, on a subconscious level, does that play a reason as to why they're both on my top 5 list? I don't know. I'm
I'm glad you're open to that. I'm glad you're not trying to deny it off the cuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But one thing, though, is that I do definitely love and appreciate these characters for they are on an individual basis,
Right?
Because there are a lot of differences as well. But yeah, so the similarities here, they do run a whole lot deeper than they do on surface value. But once again, the differences are also really, really deep, even deeper.
But real quick, if I can say something, and maybe there's other fans out there like me, when I was first introduced to Black Panther at a younger age, I didn't think anything about Batman when I was introduced to him.
Right.
So on the from the get-go, just off that, like with these other characters, it's too easy to say, oh, he reminds me of so-and-so from that. I feel like he's one of the ones, and maybe this will make you feel better, buddy, but he's one of the ones that's like, you have to think deeper and harder about the connection between him and a plausible, possible other character.
Yep. I can agree with that.
Yeah. So, but please continue. You're about to go off into something cool.
Yeah. No, but really, I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But there was one thing I wanted to make mention of here. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I have a list here of honorable mentions I was going to read off.
Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah.
And there's one of these honorable mentions that I'd like to give a little bit of attention to afterwards. Just because it does stand out and does need to be made mention of.
Okay.
It didn't make my list, but it is something that needs to be referenced.
Sure.
So honorable mentions are Gamora and Big Barda. Look it up. There are connections.
Yep.
Superman and Hyperion. Superman and Sentry.
Yep, that's the one I thought of. Yeah.
Superman and Hyperion, man, that one's also really crazy.
Yeah. I'd have to look up Hyperion. I don't know much of...
Batman and Moon Knight.
I saw that one too.
Red Tornado and Vision.
Hey.
Thanos and Darkseid. Quicksilver and Flash. Phenomenal 5 and Doctor Gloom versus Fantastic 4 and Doctor Doom. I made that one up.
I was about to say, like, I was sitting there looking up at you like, what? Nah, brah. We're not lying to these people.
Yeah. And the last one though is Doom Patrol and X-Men. And that's the one that I really wanted to highlight just a little bit here.
Please do. Yeah. I feel like Doom Patrol is not as known as X-Men, obviously, first off.
No, they're not. I don't have like any of their stats in front of me, but Doom Patrol did come out first. I think they predated X-Men by like 3 months, and then X-Men came out. Now, Doom Patrol was a group was a team, and they were a group of people who were miscast in society, who had these strange abilities, and they were brought together by this wise man in a wheelchair, and they were trying to fight bigotry and also save people, a lot of people who even hated them all at the same time.
Damn.
Yeah. Like I said, this one didn't make my list, but needed to be brought up.
It does need to be brought up. Dadgum.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Stan the Man Lee and Jack Kirby in the game, they did a great job with creating the X-Men. Obviously, the X-Men exploded in popularity, while the Doom Patrol did not, unfortunately. As a matter of fact, the Doom Patrol, the most recent thing I read from them was in the New 52, and they were radically changed from their original debut. I mean, similar concept, but not really. I guess they realized that they unfortunately had to change, even though they came out first. They had to change because otherwise, people look at Doom Patrol and say, "This is just an X-Men ripoff." But yeah, so that's it for the honorable mentions there, and that's it for the comparisons. Yeah, what you got?
No, I was just looking it up, just like reading up more on the Doom Patrol here. And it's like, they literally showed up the same year earlier than X-Men. Like, that is a blatant ripoff, guys. Like, dadgum.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even ashamed of that. But you're right. Marvel just really hit the ground running with it, and it became a bigger thing for Marvel.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at an image of the DC team now. I'd like to go home and, learn a little bit more about these fools. See what's going on with them,
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well.
Yeah, so poor Doom Patrol, But, I mean,
the Doom Patrol was doomed.
Yeah, they were doomed. Unfortunately, I guess these things happen. The whole thing, though, that's interesting is that I'm surprised that there weren't more lawsuits.
For real. Like, the big lawsuit that comes to mind, first and foremost, between these two, large-headed companies and whatnot, would be Shazam versus
Captain Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the big one that comes to mind.
Yeah. Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's because they got to the point where they started stealing names.
Exactly. Although those were early on characters too.
That
was like like the character I think came out before the company, right? I can't remember actually.
Yeah.
When did
Marvel
Shazam
change? I forget when that was. But yeah, I think Shazam, aka the OG Captain Marvel, came out way before Captain Marvel, or Marvel Comics.
Yeah. Okay. No, I was about to say because Shazam was stupid early on. I remember seeing some of his issues downstairs, and they're way early printed, But yeah.
One more funny one though, real quick before we close this thing up.
Yeah.
Is Man-Thing and Swamp-Thing.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I didn't care to write it down because I don't care about either character. But it's like, what?
Yeah,
like one of them had like a Cthulhu-shaped head. You're just like, what?
Yeah. See, that was really interesting because, like, I think that this is one that's actually on coincidence because they did come out like really almost at the same damn time.
3 months separate from each other again.
Yeah, they came out really close to one another, and they're both similar in concept and in nature and in origin and in everything.
Yep.
And they're like, what are the chances? And like Marvel and DC both complained at each other, for for being so similar, but then neither one budged or did anything about it. So,
but neither character really flourished either. So it's like
Swamp Thing flourished.
Really?
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Swamp Thing. Damn, yeah. Man-Thing, not so much, but Swamp Thing definitely.
Man-Thing is the Marvel version, just to clarify, right?
I think Man-Thing is DC. No, wait, no, it's because Swamp Thing, he's part of the Justice League Dark. Yeah,
there
he's
it
DC.
Is. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was pretty confident in that. Yeah. All right, cool.
You are correct. Oh man, so yeah, that's what we have this episode for, like the plagiarism, pettiness, or comic book copycats, whatever you want to call it.
We'll think of a name here quickly.
There's some blatant Tom Dickery going on in the comic book industry.
Yep.
I guess one last question, Kevin. Like, what do you think? Do you think this is a good or bad thing for the comic industry, and what do you think the comic industry should do, if anything, about this?
I'm going to carefully craft these words for you, my friend, and I'm going to say that it's not the best thing. Mm-hmm. It definitely isn't. I don't think that you can call yourself an exceptionally creative powerhouse mind if you just keep ripping characters off.
Right.
That being said, I think that it can be a good thing, a challenging thing even, because you see that character and you're just like, okay, well, how can I do better?
Right.
Like if you were to see, DC just came out with this really new character, this new awesome somebody, something with this origin for New 52 series, then all of a sudden it's like, well, how can I, on my Marvel job here, challenge myself to do and be better? And you really got to push the creative gas there.
Right.
And I think, going back to my answer, that it can be a good thing and a great thing, Yeah. Because in that point, you're making characters and you can even compare and say, okay. Let me change this before we publish this about this character. And make it something your own and make it good.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, and you're absolutely right. I think you hit the nail on the head. And,
right. Thank you.
Yeah. There's a quote I want to read to top it all off. Though it's a quote by Oscar Wilde.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go you.
And, he says, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I mean, don't get me wrong, that quote just kind of stokes the fire.
Yeah.
But I love that quote because, I mean, he's just basically saying that, you know, when you see something that's imitating you, is them basically saying that this other party likes what you're doing.
Yeah, that they're mediocre compared to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their efforts to replicate are mediocre in comparison to you because you're great. You created this thing that's great. Both Marvel and DC have done some, I don't want to say stealing, but they've definitely have taken notes from one another.
Right. They definitely sat beside each other at that big test in school and like creeped over the shoulder.
Right. But I agree because, like, don't get me wrong, like on one hand, like you said, it does show like a creativity, and on the other hand, though, it also, like, without some of these copycats, we wouldn't get some of our favorite characters today.
Right. Yeah.
So it does go both ways. But I mean, it is what it is. But I guess ultimately, it really depends on just your interpretation and what you think. I mean, because, like, in cases like Doom Patrol, that really fucking sucks. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, like, we wouldn't have gotten the X-Men if, you know, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were like, you know, let's not steal from them.
Exactly, If they had that code of morale and all of a sudden we only have one comic company today because they never could pick up. I don't know, something like that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, so it goes on and on and on, people. And I'm sure there's more examples that, you know, you guys like that we didn't mention. Yeah. But, you know, of course, you have any closing comments before we close this bitch up?
Oh, no, man. I was actually just going to invite people that, hey, if there are other cool characters that you, wanted to let us know about as honorable mentions or other similar characters that seem just too close to each other, go ahead and, comment a post about them on the Facebook page. You know, we have these episodes posted up every week, and all of a sudden, you can just leave a comment right there. Let us know. Yeah.
Hit us up and let us know what you guys are thinking. According to this podcast or anything else in your mind. Preferably comic book or superhero related.
Right.
I mean, if you're having relationship problems, I guess you can hit us up. I can't promise you that we give you the best advice. But I could just imagine, it'll be entertaining.
I could just imagine our advice. It'd be great advice. Don't get me wrong. Great in the sense that it'd be funny.
Yeah.
But I imagine us being, what you see in this issue of Iron Man? This is what, some random bullshit.
Right. Now, you see where Batman messed up here with Selena Kyle is that he didn't take the proper approach to court her first. But seriously, guys, if you have any kind of questions,
don't take your relationship advice from comics.
If you have any questions, comments, gift threats, food supplies, hit us up at superherohomies@gmail.com or the Facebook page of the same name, Superhero Homies. We're going to close this thing out. Of course, this coming Wednesday, we're going to do our review of Unbreakable, the 2000 M. Night Shyamalan movie starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. We're veering out of our lane just a little bit here, just to see how it goes, and hope you guys are going to, enjoy that podcast as much as we are. We're looking forward to it. We have dropped the ball again. We don't have a podcast for next Sunday.
Tune in for the surprise.
But just like with the Watchmen podcast, we'll hit you guys up throughout the week and let you know what we're doing. So be sure to check the Facebook page. And we're going to go ahead and close up shop here for the evening. But we appreciate you guys listening. You guys really do keep us afloat. And you guys really do are the other reason that we continue to post these or make these podcasts here.
Heck yeah.
So as always, if you like what you hear and if you really want to support us, then please leave us a review on
or tell a friend.
Leave us a review on iTunes or tell a friend. All that really helps us out. So we're going to close up here for the evening, but as always, we appreciate you guys. My name is Quentin.
I'm Kevin.
Till next time.